The world can hide many creatures, some of which are things that we can't seem to explain or prove the existence of. But when someone claims to have witnessed the unexplainable, we seem to be skeptical of what they say and have a hard time believing them unless they have proof. Even if they have evidence, we try to come up with explanations or debate whether or not the evidence that's presented is real. However, there is a subculture that is dedicated to debating and studying the disputed existence of these creatures. It's called Cryptozoology. The main goal of cryptozoologists is to prove the existence of these cryptids. Now, I'm not here to list every cryptid that has been spotted around the globe. I only picked the ones that I found interesting. I'll be telling the history of the sightings, the description, and the skepticism on the existence of these cryptids. So sit back, relax, and enjoy your stay. In Dover, Massachusetts, April 21st, 1977, Bill Bartlett and his friends were driving around 10:32 p.m. While Bill was driving on Farm Street, he caught a glimpse of the demon itself. It was walking on the loose stone wall. Bill described it as having two large orange eyes, an oversized head, and fingers that are tendril-like. It was also hairless and thin. Bill decided to sketch the creature to show people what he has seen. Little does Bill know, he's not the only one who saw the Dover demon. Around midnight, John Baxter left his girlfriend's house and started walking up the street to his house. 30 minutes have passed and he sees someone walking up to him. At first, John thought it was his acquaintance. John decided to call out to the figure only for it to give it no response to him. Once both of them had stopped approaching each other, John decided to ask who this is, but the figure still didn't give a response. John then stepped forward to get a better look on what he was seeing. The figure then sprinted to the left. John followed it only to see it 30 feet away from him. It was standing on some rocks next to a tree. John described it as having the body of a monkey. John then left the scene and decided to walk fast to the intersection at Farm Street. He then hitchhiked his way home from there. The third sighting takes place the same night. A girl named Abby Brabham saw the Dover demon standing next to a tree, but instead of orange eyes, Abby described it as having green eyes. Another sighting goes all the way to 1972, where a person named Mark Sennett claims to have seen a creature with glowing eyes near a pond. So, what is it? Most people theorize it to be a baby moose, but moose has not ever been spotted around the area in 1977. Other people theorize it to be an escaped gibbon, but a gibbon most likely wouldn't have survived that long, and people would eventually find the body of the gibbon. It wouldn't have been fake either, because when investigators and the police were interviewing with people who knew Bill Bartlett, everyone but one said that Bill wouldn't have lied about him seeing the Dover demon. And the one person said that he would lie happens to be unreliable. I don't think there will ever be a straight answer on what the Dover demon is. All theories and explanations seems to be debunked or dismissed. It seems like the case of the Dober demon will always be a mystery. There is a local story told in Point Pleasant, West Virginia, of a winged beast described to have glowing red eyes and a 10-foot wingspan. People say it is the cause of the Silver Bridge collapsing. The locals named the beast Mothman. The first few sightings of the Mothman go all the way back to the 60s. The first sighting being in November 15, 1966, where two couples, Roger and Linda Scarberry and Steve and Mary Mallet, saw the Mothman following them while they were driving in the TNT area, which was a munitions plant during World War II. Sightings of the Mothman then start to increase. From 1966 to 1967, 100 people have apparently seen the Mothman. People have also connected the sightings to the Silver Bridge collapse of December 15, 1967, thinking that the Mothman is the cause for the bridge's destruction. People have speculated that the Mothman could have been a species of a large bird. Wildlife biologist Robert L. Smith said that a sandhill crane might have been mistaken for the Mothman. However, a sandhill crane's wingspan can range from 6 to 8 feet instead of 10 feet. Most say that the Mothman is either an alien or a supernatural creature, but whatever the case might be, the Mothman leaves an impact on Point Pleasant's history. There are festivals which the Mothman is the focus of. There's even a Mothman statue built in Point Pleasant. Just like the case of the Dover demon, the Mothman is unexplainable, though it could have been a large bird. The supposed wingspan of the Mothman doesn't seem to match with any large birds that are native to West Virginia. Although, I could be incorrect about that, as there is kind of a possibility that a bird can reach a wingspan of 10 feet. Maybe someday we will have a clear and straight explanation of what the Mothman really is. Pine Barrens, New Jersey, 1739. It was a stormy night and Jane Leeds, also known as Mother Leeds, was in labor. She had just given birth to her 13th child. But it was no ordinary child. Mother Leeds called it the devil. When Mother Leeds' friends gathered around to look at the child, it grew bat wings, a tail, hooves, and the head of a goat. It then escaped by flying into the chimney and then flying off to the pine forest. This is one version of the origin behind the Jersey Devil. Other versions say that Mother Leeds was actually a witch and her husband is the devil. Even though this story is folklore, the sightings of the Jersey Devil, which started happening in 1909, and the story itself is connected to the real Leeds family. Mother Leeds from the folklore is actually Deborah Leeds, and the actual Leeds family consists of 12 children. Even though there are a few similarities between the Leeds family from folklore and the actual family, I doubt they're the same family. The Jersey Devil had been spotted multiple times though. One person who has claimed to have seen it is Joseph Bonaparte, who is actually the elder brother of Napoleon. Joseph said that he saw the Jersey Devil while out hunting in his estate. The Jersey Devil has also been blamed for multiple killings of farm animals. In 1925, a farmer claimed to have shot an unknown animal that people couldn't identify. This has been connected to the Jersey Devil itself. Some boys also even claim to have seen it in 1951. Because of the sightings, wanted posters of the Jersey Devil started appearing with a $10,000 to $2,500,000 reward if it was captured dead or alive, and apparently if it was captured, it would be kept in a zoo. The Jersey Devil could be most likely a hoax. Jeff Berner, who is part of the Humane Society of New Jersey, thinks that the sandhill crane is the base of the stories, and since there are a lack of photographs and evidence of the Jersey Devil, most people seem to agree that the Jersey Devil is nothing more than a fake ghost story. Deep in the woods of Flatwoods, West Virginia, there lives a 7-foot-tall monster with a robotic body, scaly skin, and a diamond-like head. It is called the Flatwoods Monster. It was first encountered by two young siblings, Edward and Fred May, and their friend Tommy Heyer in September 12, 1952. They first saw a bright shining light in the forest and decided to follow it. When they found the light, they saw it was over some farmland. The group then headed back to the place they were staying, which was the May's residence. Kathleen May was told about this mysterious light and decided to investigate it with Edward, Fred, Tommy, and 3 other children from the neighborhood, including a guardsman named Eugene Lemmino with his dog. While they were walking up the trail to the farmland, the guardsman's dog ran off ahead, presumably to have picked up the scent. The dog then came back to the group looking scared after a few minutes later. When the group reached the farmland, they then saw what is described to be a ball of fire that is pulsating, and a fog that made them feel a burning sensation in their eyes and nose. The guardsman then shined his light to 2 small lights that he saw. Once he shined his flashlight towards the lights, he then saw the Flatwoods monster. The monster then makes a hissing sound in response to the shining from the flashlight. Being frightened by what they saw, the group decided to run back to the May's residence. The symptoms they experienced after coming up in contact with the frog back at the farm are the same symptoms of mustard gas and hysteria, which is nose irritation, throat swelling, and vomiting. A week after the sighting, a 21-year-old woman and her mother saw the Flatwoods monster with the same appearance as it was originally described. The woman had to stay in the Clarkson hospital for 3 weeks. Explanations on what the Flatwoods monster is then started popping up. One explanation is that the Flatwoods monster could have been a barn owl on top of a bush or a tree, which explains the hissing the Flatwoods monster gave off, as barn owls do hiss whenever they're threatened. If you don't know how a barn owl hissing sounds like, here's a clip of it. The ball of fire has been explained to be a meteor, and the pulsating effect it gave could have been a hazard beacon or an aircraft navigation, which gave it the illusion of the ball of fire pulsating. But what about the symptoms and the fog? From what I could think of, the fog could have been just smoke coming from another place, which burned the group's eyes and nose. And considering the symptoms are the same as hysteria, then there is a possibility that they got hysteria after what they just saw, which led them to getting sick. The Flatwoods monster also left an impact on West Virginia. There were festivals where people would come together and meet on the same location where the monster was sighted, kind of similar to how there would be festivals about the Mothman. Even though the festivals in Flatwoods stopped in 2006, the Flatwoods monster will always be remembered. From 1917 to 1920, a Swiss oil geologist, Francis de Loys, gathered a team to find petroleum in South America where they planned to search in Lake Maracaibo. The expedition, however, was a disaster for the crew because of disease and fighting with the natives, to the point there are only 4 crew members left. The team then decided to camp out near Tara River. The crew then spotted 2 creatures coming towards them. At first they thought those were bears, but realized afterwards they were apes, and both of them were apparently male and female. The apes then started to throw feces at the crew until one of the crew members decided to shoot and kill one of the apes. The ape that was killed looked very similar to a spider monkey, but it lacked a tail and it was 1.6 meters tall. The crew members then decided to pose it with a stick and take a picture of it, and skinned it or left the carcass because it was rotting away. An explanation for this could be easy. Considering that the ape looked similar to a spider monkey, it's no surprise that it could be a spider monkey. The only thing that the de Loys ape doesn't have is a tail, but there could be an explanation for that too. Either the crew cut its tail, or the angle the photo was taken in did not show the tail, or it somehow lost its tail before crossing paths with the crew. Therefore, the de Loys ape is most likely a spider monkey. Between New York, Vermont, and Quebec is a lake called Lake Champlain. People mostly go there for fishing and sightseeing, but back then, there was a chance they might spot Champ, a lake monster that has been sighted 300 times. It's pretty much a North American Loch Ness monster. In 1819, Captain Crumb spotted what appears to be a 187 feet long serpent with a red ring around its neck, a white star on its forehead, and 3 teeth in the lake. In 1883, a sheriff named Nathan H. Mooney saw a serpent in the lake with white spots around its mouth. He also claimed that it could have been 25 to 30 feet long. Afterwards, people started to see the creature to the point the showman, P.T. Barnum, wanted the creature and rewarded anyone who brought it to him. In 1977, Sandra and Mancy was out on vacation with their family to Lake Champlain. They then saw something rise out of the lake, and Sandra decided to take this picture. The more recent reports of Champ take place in 2003 and 2005. The one in 2003 is not more of a sighting, but more of an audio recording. The Fauna Communications Research Institute recorded some audio in Lake Champlain. They then heard sounds that are similar to dolphins and beluga whales. In 2005, fisherman Dick O'Falter and his stepson Pete Baudet claimed to have captured a video and some pictures of Champ. Explanations for these sightings could have been a case of misidentification. Considering that there are a lot of fish in Lake Champlain, it would be no surprise that one of the sightings is debunked to be a misidentification of a fish. The explanation of the Mancy photo could have been just a broken tree branch rising out of the water. The alligator-like footprints could have been the footprints of a snapping turtle, but the 2003 audio recordings remains to be unexplained. Champ also left a cultural impact on New York and Vermont, just like how the Mothman left an impact on West Virginia. Champ is a mascot for the Vermont lake monsters. The Pont Henry village in New York has a day dedicated to Champ called Champ Day. And the state of New York made Lake Champlain a protected landmark because of the sightings. I wouldn't say that debunking all these cryptids would be difficult because most of them are legends and folklore or the sighting seems invalid. But there is a possibility that one of these cryptids could be real because animals like the colossal squid and the okapi are once considered as cryptids. It's hard to believe in these things because we have never seen them with our own eyes before, and they seem unnatural to us. It's easy to believe that a picture of a deer is real because it looks natural to us, but it's difficult to believe that a picture of a plesiosaur in a lake because it just seems unnatural to see an animal that has been extinct since like 66 million years ago, living right in our modern times. So, what's the conclusion here? Well, no matter how much evidence we have and how much we try to explain it or counter it, there's a chance that we might hit a dead end and consider whatever cryptid unexplained. And I think most of these cryptids fit the same category.